year 2207 of the Reclamation Era, humanity once again finds itself embroiled in calamitous warfare. Here, we follow the tale of 5 such souls bound to that conflict, destined to prove themselves human, or mayhap so much more. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, depending upon time zone. Ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet, welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay, and it feels so fucking good to say this. Welcome back to Stardust Ghosts. I am your host for the duration of the stream, Young Foxy, and I have with me 4 absolutely beautiful individuals who I have the delight of sharing this video with, but I'm not going to tell you that personally. They can tell you that themselves. In the order that I call you, please tell the audience who you are, who you're playing today, where you can be found on the internet, and what is your character's favorite flavor of ice cream. Take a minute, think about it, hold on it, and we'll start. Top right is one of my absolute best friends, Michelle.
Of course it's gonna be me first, so you can't leave me after running a choice all the time. You know what? Alright, cool, we got it. Hi, I'm Michelle. I play Arth, also known as T-Lin, but her call sign. And well, first off, don't find me on the internet. I don't exist. And fuck it. Arth's favorite ice cream flavor is a little bit of like a waffle, but she enjoys vanilla with a side of chocolate, but strawberry's been her favorite for a while now.
You did just send Neapolitan and saved a lot of words there. That's okay.
But see, it's not Neapolitan she likes. She doesn't like the mixing of the flavors.
You know, that sounds like Arth, actually. But yeah. It's perfectly reasonable. Moving on from that incredibly technical analysis of ice cream flavors, directly below you to a, once again, newcomer to the Neon Lights roleplay stage, but who I am incredibly glad to share a table with and love talking with when I find the time to. Hello, Danny. How are you today, love?
Hello, I'm good. I'm Danny. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Danny's Corner. I'm playing Zima, or Streamline, our local ghost pilot, who is going through a bit of a crisis right now. But that's okay. And Zima's favorite ice cream flavor, I think, would probably just be plain French vanilla for the longest time, because it's very plain, very sort of straightforward. Where they tried like caramel one time, and then they absolutely loved it, but they didn't want to go off the line of saying their favorite was vanilla, so they would keep saying it's vanilla.
Well, as a fellow French vanilla enjoyer, I can respect that choice. Moving straight down to the bottom right of your screen, once again newcomer to the Neon Lights roleplay stage, who I am finding myself ever endowed with the way that they craft stories, and I've honestly been trying to dig into more like the kind of games that they make, and I want to see more of what they do, because it seems really, really cool, and I want to get to know them more as a really cool person. Hi, Akemi, how are you? Hi,
I'm Akemi. She, they pronouns, playing, Mika, Neon, she, her pronouns, exist on the internet at, like, Ninja Penguin AM, if you care to find me, and Mika's favorite ice cream is bubblegum. But what she does is she'll eat all the ice cream and then stack all the bubble gum to be eaten afterwards. Then just have a giant mouthful of bubble gum all at once.
You know what? I can respect that. It's like you get 2 snacks at that point. Why have one ice cream? You can have ice cream and then gum afterwards. I can respect that.
Well, you don't want to swallow the gum either.
Well,
that's so bad for your jaw.
I mean, yeah, but if that's the worst thing that one can do for their health, then frankly, I think there are worse things to do for about. Excuse me as I place random things on the roleplay. I am a fool. As I finalize that, we come skipping over the bottom left screen, as Darby's not with us today, but we wish her all the love and support we can as she's busy with things. Mwah. But finalizing our cast in directly below me in the left middle of your screen with a, once again, newcomer to the Neon Lights roleplay stage who is ingratiated themselves in our community in an incredible way, already made themselves known, and a lot of people seem to be a big fan of who they are, and I certainly am among those people. Hello, Casper.
Hi, I'm Casper. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Violet, aka Doc, whose pronouns are she, her. You can find me at wolfgirl2525 on Twitter and Instagram. And Doc's favorite ice cream, like the base would have to be like cookie dough, but then Doc is a fan of toppings, so all of the fucking toppings.
Toppings are a valid thing to figure out, no question. All right, valid. And that again sounds just like Doc to customize absolutely everything, including their ice cream. It makes perfect sense. And I guess, folks, if you somehow don't know who I am by now, I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Village's finest, and I will be everyone that's not these incredible individuals and the people that they play. And I guess with that, we can start heading on right into our recap. Last time on Stardust Goes, the squad found itself with a little bit of downtime post their encounter to recover and recuperate and also discuss some things. A brief sort of downtime saw everyone scattering and doing their own things, but a few very interesting things made themselves very, very clear. While they will all be elaborated on very, very shortly, I'm sure, most important amongst them would be one, that Doc, while meeting with Witch, learned about the true purpose of her mission and the gift that she's been given, as well as her new unique mech, powered by her very lifeblood. Roxanne got closer with the commander, learning more and more about the man that he is and the relationship they seem to be building. We'll get to that. Mika, it appears, also has a bit of a flame in the past, who they managed to reconnect with, learning some very important things, making a promise to get back to them, and also learning some very interesting information about one Dr. Hassan. A curious individual, who we now know is responsible for the creation of Zima. And this woman appeared, very briefly, to check on her creation, and maybe do a bit more. As that night, Zima began to find herself awakening strange new abilities. All this and more will be elaborated on to the backdrop of Arth's headaches, who found themselves quickly almost overwhelmed with this feeling of pain, sharp in the back of their brain, lancing, immediate, and then passing. Like nothing happened. The night passed on in relative quiet, the land crawler still slowly trudging forward. The low rumbling of it is almost like a metronome, the kind of white noise you can sleep to sometimes. And as the sun finally crests over Hera and begins to give you and all the others full light across the barren landscape you are trundling through, as you are now fully in the Ren, this area in the middle of this continent. Each of you find yourselves awakening with the usual bit of spare time to yourselves when it's not in your drill. You're used to being awakened to the blaring bugle horns of your drill rituals and things like that, but when not having to force yourselves up at the crack of dawn, you find yourself in time to gather food, clean yourself, maybe even relax for the very few times you can in this calamitous occasion you will find yourselves ingratiated amongst. And as we follow each individual who dresses themselves and readies, knowing that the squad will have a lot to talk about today, we find ourselves following one Violet Ayers, call sign Doc. Walking through the halls, soldiers pass them and offer slight nods, but Doc's mind appears, elsewhere. One might even say, in the past. And thus, we find ourselves almost fading into a memory. And I'm now going to lean on my players here. Take us there. Where are we? And what's happening?
So it would be the early days, like a year or so in the past, when Doc would be alone in her garage. Her mech would be in pieces, like practically gutted. There's like a mech version of the Vitruvian Man on the wall, and there's like code written all over it, and like similar code is on the screen as she's trying to figure out like the latest patch to like a project that reads on the header that says Project Eternity. She's got a book from Dr. Asano, like just splayed in different parts with highlighted bits on each, like on the page of only the important things that she needs. It's mostly stuff about the Geist system and how the integration works. And yeah, it's looking. You see like early versions of like Arth designs in the back. Because yeah, Arth is here, but she's also really not. And Violet is trying to fix that. Like, and she's like, the look on her face is she's so determined. Nothing is going to stop her from doing that.
And as sort of Doc is going through this sort of moment of trying to make these discoveries, trying to piece these things together, she gets this feeling as if something is watching her, as if something is trying or about to stop her, as something is about to be in her way. It's like a feeling like it's like a little shiver, that feeling you get when you know something is there.
And this is back before Violet had any kind of self-control. She was known for her temper, which is why her mech is called Bakushiku, which is firecracker. She turns around and like raises her freaking the wrench that's in her hand, like she's about to hit whoever's behind her, but stops herself when she sees it's just this cute like new person who she's never met before. Can I help you?
Curious. They just sort of stare at Doc. Like, it doesn't seem like they don't seem to flinch. They don't seem to say much else. Their words are a bit broken, but they don't seem they just seem to be standing a bit idly. They head tilt slightly.
Yeah, Doc notices that, like, okay, that's weird. She lowers her wrench and offers her hands. Just, name's Doc. Guess because Butcher was taken. How can I help you?
You see, Zima seems to like stare at her hand, like her eyebrows raise a little bit, and she just stares at your hand, and there's like a pause. It looks like they're almost processing something for a moment, and a full minute passes before Zima's two hands, which are covered in these two white gloves, both of her hands take Doc's one hand and just sort of shakes it very, very slightly. And she says, Streamline, may I assist?
Yeah, the handshaking goes on forever.
Yeah.
You goes on for way too long.
Very long.
And so like Doc is just like, I'm gonna just take that back. But noticing like during this weird handshake that takes forever, Doc notices there's like something different about Streamline. It's very familiar to what she's seen in art, but in an advanced state. So she's like very like she's having like a no, I was not looking for an answer and it did not just shake my hand kind of moment. But like before she can get into it, she's like, you know something about this?
And then you see Shimmer goes from being like very calm, cool, and collected, and then her eyes just completely like light up, and they go from looking down at their hands to looking at like the mess of information on a mech, and she says, I believe your model parts are incompatible with your designs. The energies must apply accordingly, but with your current placement, they don't seem to function properly. They need to adapt. And furthermore, it seems that one of these screws here, I believe one of the wires here is redirecting energy improperly. So perhaps if you were to change the location of these, you would be able to get the energy to the right places. And perhaps another battery as well. I would be happy to lend you or find one for you if needed.
So, as like Zima just goes on this
long rant, going on and on.
Yeah, as she goes and points out all the things that are wrong with my design, instead of getting offended, Doc's sitting here like, is this the answer? Like, I'm literally having the missing piece. The missing piece is literally right in front of me, and it's asking to help. Okay, I can keep it together. I can keep it together. This is fine. This is so fine. Right.
I feel like in the middle of like this like sort of realization, you see Streamline sort of pauses their entire ramble of listing off everything and providing options. It just halts to a stop, and then she looks at her and is like, "Troubled? May I assist?"
When Zima looks at her, Doc gets this like notices that it's not just like a machine that's standing in front of her. It's like she's looking into these big puppy dog eyes, and you like and can't help it be like, oh crap, this one must be protected. At all costs we must protect this one. And so she doesn't say anything, but they both like she hands her the wrench and they both get to work together, and then they find this groove, like they've been working together for a long time, and just to break the silence, so what's your name, hon?
Streamline.
No, that's your designation, sweetie. I want to know your name. Mine's Violet, due to my violent tendencies.
Understood. And there's a pause for a moment as Zima seems to like think, and is again looks like they're processing something. I am Shreem. My name is Zima, the same way your name is Violet. Perhaps, as yours is violent, perhaps mine has to do with a word, such as interproximal, because it has the spelling of Zima in it.
Oh. So, tell me about yourself, Zima, because I'm not gonna lie, you kind of remind me of a dear friend of mine.
And you see Zima sort of turns to Violet, and for the first time she actually seems a little confused, but very curious. Like she's almost very pleased to be compared to somebody. And from there, I feel like we see the memory sort of fade away at look that Zima gives. And I like to imagine it goes from like that memory, and then there's a sort of a flash of last night where Doc came to check on Zima, and Zima was just sort of curled up in a little ball, and refused to leave Doc's side because she was so confused. And then we sort of cut back to Doc going down the halls.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually even gonna, because of the impact of that scene, I'm actually even gonna slightly retcon what I said a little bit. Doc, you're not walking down the hallway at all, actually. You are right there with Zima. You stayed there with her the entire night, checking on her, making sure she was okay, and when morning came, you told the squad to meet you there. It's the most reasonable thing to do. And so, we actually come back in just in that moment as the side doors of the storage bay open and slide in, and you two are greeted by, well, at least 2 other members of your Lance, as Mika and Arth join you two for the morning, and you are now all here together in this kind of dugout of a storage container. Engineers are about and working on other things. Maintenance crew are moving supplies and things, but no one seems to be giving you all the time of day. You figure it's either because everyone's too tired or, still sleepy, or because you all cause enough stupid shit around here that whenever you guys are together, people just go, all right, not our business, and keep moving. Whatever the case, the stage is mostly you guys here, just the four of you gathered in this space. And so, yeah, just feel free to narrate how each of you might look this morning, what you were previously doing before you got here, or just more accurately, take on the moment of gathering together and recuperating from the last few nights you've all had and now coming together again. I say this to everyone all the time. Michelle, you've heard this more than enough times. Darlings, the scene is yours.
Milady.
Arth, sweetie, both of y'all, great.
Morning, everyone.
Zima's been not. Mika, great, nice. Neon, whatever. Anyway, Zima's been here all night. I haven't left her side, but she's not spoken. Nothing's happening. She's basically catatonic. I don't know what to do. And like when Violet says I don't know what to do, she looks straight at you, Arth, and it's like, I don't know what to do.
Like Arth immediately is just like, of course, and then actually like goes around towards Zima and kind of just puts a hand on Zima's shoulder and just sort of. She kind of tries to like sink into thought, like that weird, you know when you're trying to think in the back of your consciousness, and you just sort of like lose yourself into a little bit of a meditative state. And Arth tries to sort of feel like if she can connect with Zima just a little bit, just are you okay? Just that sort of like just stare, just like a look in, like, Zima, are your eyes open at all?
Yeah, her eyes are like open, but they seem very like dead. They just like have stared forward this entire time.
Can I slide in here for a brief second?
Ooh.
Arth, as you half meditate, coming to kind of loom over Zima and see what you can see, just trying to connect with her. For a brief moment, even though neither of you blinks, there's no closing of eyes, but for a brief microsecond, there is not the storage bay and the container and the day outside. There's a field of stars all around. All of you? All of you. For that quarter second, don't see the world around you as normal, but for a quarter second see patterns of starlight and nebulae and cosmic entity all about you. It's like a flash of neurons between each and every one of you, a linking of something deep and directly personal to all of you, connected for that brief moment, and then gone. Each of you certainly felt that.
I think, I think in that moment, in that split second after that moment passes, you see Zima like jumps a little bit and then quickly like grabs on to the hand that's on her shoulder.
Zima, child, are you okay?
Apologies. I am okay. And she sort of like sits up a bit more. I'm okay. I apologize. I am unsure as to what happened.
Zima, sweetie, can I check on you, being as discreet as possible? Because I don't know if you're out to everybody. Can I check on you for a second?
It's okay.
Arth sort of like gives like Zima's shoulder like just a little bit of like it would probably be for if Arth was squeezing a different person's shoulder, it would definitely feel like almost like a clamp. But to you, Zima, it feels more like just like a pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like a just like a comforting, just a gesture. While Arth, stands up and sort of puts her like almost like it like puts her back to you and Doc, just like making sure and just like starts glaring at Folk to avoid them. And you notice a couple of folk just immediately take like 7 steps back from where they already were 7 steps away.
Yeah.
As Arth just sort of folds her arms and just like looks and sort of like backs you up into a little bit of a shadowed corner.
I think Zima goes from like glancing around at the room, like she looks at Arth and then at Doc, and then she looks at sort of Mika. And there's sort of a pause where Zima sort of recalls a moment where Mika was like, if there's anything you ever needed to talk about. Like, if this was like yesterday, I think it was like, if there's everything you ever need to talk about, then, I'm here. And then Zima sort of just keeps looking at Mika, and then back to Doc and just says, I don't believe I'm okay. I would like to be okay again.
That's right, sweetie. I can see what I can do to make you okay again. Mika, why don't you talk to her while I work on my data pad here?
Despite Neon being just super energetic, that's actually kind of there. If you're looking closely, Neon is tired. But you're hearing that Streamline needs help. Mika will be there. Streamline?
Hi, hello.
Want a hug?
Yes.
Right.
I don't know if this would be like a programming or a hacking role, but I do want to run a diagnostic on Zima.
You can absolutely do either of those roles, whichever you feel more appropriate. I'd say if you were trying to like check on what you were already used to checking on for her, it's probably programming.
Yeah.
If you want to like dig deep and like make sure everything is okay, that's probably more hacking.
No, that seems invasive, and she's already been through a lot. So I'm just gonna do a programming role. Please don't hate
that
me.
roll. Hold it. I will come back. Don't give me the result yet. I'll come back to you in just a moment. Keep going.
And Neon will just give Zima a hug. Just like, hey, I'm okay. I know that your first battle is hard. I know that this is not where you want to be. You know what? We'll make it as a team, okay? I'll hold you. Be together, okay?
Okay.
Got you.
I understand. I apologize.
Oh, don't apologize. It's not easy doing this.
Zima just sort of holds Mika very close and does not let go.
I don't think any of us knew what we were signing up for when we signed up. The only way we're making it through is together. Okay? Be here for you.
I am thankful. Yes, I am thankful.
As the two of you were sitting, I guess literally in each other's embrace, there is have you ever felt that feeling? Like something, like when you're walking somewhere and you feel something just at the back of your neck, Like, maybe something's about to grab you, but it doesn't feel that scary, so you don't want to turn around.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but with no tension. And it's not coming from just behind the back of your neck. It feels like it's coming from just under your skin. There's a node, and it's not. The funny thing is that it's not an unfamiliar feeling. Both of you know exactly what that is, that thing right behind your skin in the back of your neck. It's your Geist systems. Something in them is resonating. Zima, you start getting just the most surface level things that Mika is thinking right now. Mika, what are they?
Brief thoughts of the dream with the stars. Flashes of Lily. Conversation we had. Data pad under my pillow. And feel there's something else, but it's that feeling that, like, wake up from a dream and there's things you're trying to grab from it, but you can't remember any specifics.
Yeah.
And coffee.
So, yeah, that's mostly the moment the two of you are feeling. It's not an invasive presence for either of you. Zima, you were getting these thoughts, and Mika, you are aware that she is getting them. Like, if Zima was to immediately say all those things right back to you right now, it wouldn't come as a shock to you. Somehow you feel it. It's like saying the words to her, just not out loud.
I think there's a pause for a second. And then Zima sort of says, Neon, are you okay? You had a conversation.
Yeah. Not okay, but I'm as okay as I'll be.
I am here for you. We will work through it as a team.
Right, or here's a team. Hey, Glenn? Doc? Did you also have that feeling with the stars just now?
Sorry, what, honey?
The feeling with the stars. Space.
You're feeling space?
Milady, the nebula feeling, almost like for a second everything was connected.
Big.
Not Doc right now. Would I have had that feeling? Was that all of us, or was that just them?
When that moment happened, it was all of you.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
So... the lilies and the coffee feeling? Yeah, I felt that too.
Wait, how do you know Lily?
Oh, I was just thinking of the flower. Is there a girl named Lily?
Yeah.
Oh, is she, yours?
Oh. It's not like I claimed her, but,
Sweet.
we
we'll
promised we'd find each other again.
Oh, that's just. And I grab Art and I'm like, oh. We'll get back to that. I gotta finish my diagnostic on Zima here. I rolled a 15.
Yeah, so with that 15, physically, all of Zima's vitals are coming through mostly normal. Heart rate slightly elevated. Biorhythmic scans otherwise seem mostly like pretty stable. There are a few oddities. One, and there's only really one way to put this, her processing power, the amount of raw data her brain module can input and output in a single second, it's more than quadrupled. There's no other word for it than superhuman. You don't know what it means. She doesn't seem like she's doing anything abnormal, but her brain activity spikes occasionally. Just huge surges of activity. Doesn't seem like it's bad or harmful, but you wager she probably hasn't gotten used to the increased neural load, and if she doesn't sometime soon, it might start causing feedback damage.
So, Zima, sweetie, have you met with anyone or talked with anyone or had any kind of updates that I don't know about?
Many strangers touched you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, but like as soon as Doc says this, right? Like Arth just immediately like cuts an eye towards like towards Doc and just goes like palms the hilt of her sword meaningfully. Like, is there someone I need to stab? Like.
Oh. You see, like, it looks like Zima wants to say something, but it's also like she's stopping herself from saying something. Like, there's a back and forth happening in her head right now. So it's like, she's like very stuck in a stuttering, like, mode right now.
It's okay. This is a safe space. And I, like, position myself in front of Art's, like, I block the image of Art.
This is a safe space.
Like Art is very much like if somebody has been touching Zima, somebody's gonna get stabbed.
Oh my heart.
This is a safe space for you, sweetie. It's absolutely safe for you here. You can tell me. Doctor-patient confidentiality.
I don't believe I'm not supposed to.
Okay. Well, I have to update your whatever they done.
Before you finish that sentence, actually, can I have everyone who's not Zima roll me a single d10?
No.
I mean, you can not if you don't want to. That's fine. You have that option. Like, I'm not here to tell you you have to do it. You probably should.
Oh my god.
2 5s and a 4.
Oh, well, look at that.
Oh my god.
Nika. Zima doesn't say anything. You get a face in your mind. It's a woman, older, in a lab coat, with a very, very cold, calculating look. And even though you've never seen this woman in your life, at least you're pretty sure you haven't, that look lances through you like the devil.
Well, I get a name for that thought.
Fucking course you do. And in fact, if the look didn't send chills through you, the name absolutely does. I think you can probably assume what the name is, love.
Seema? Who is this woman to you?
I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
No, there's... I see, like, someone, like, Seema, like, straightens their back a bit and, like, faces forward. I was somebody who I defer to for everything. Akin to our new commander, but for me, in a sense.
Neon, what woman are you talking about?
Did you not get the image of the woman in the lab coat? The brain.
No. Wait, hang on. And I pull out my busted, my real busted book that I've taken apart and pieced back together. Dr. Asano's book, and it's got like her picture on the fucking jacket cover. Did the woman look like this?
Neon freezes it for a moment. Yeah, it older, but yeah.
All right. That
Lily told me she's dangerous.
Apparently, she's been kind of the godmother of the whole guy system. Foundation for all of this. Her latest update on which, by the way, is why Witch is so powerful. Steals your life, makes you really great. Makes you a really great mech pilot. Yeah, it's interesting. Highly classified. I didn't tell none of y'all this.
My honorable lady.
No, you were the one that told me. But
No.
Lily was mentioning things last night. Guy system is dangerous to us, especially the new upgrades.
Depends on how you use it, though. Because you see what I did with Arth. Sorry, sweetie. Not as, dangerous.
What do you mean that you did with Arth?
Yeah. So, what happened was, do you mind if I tell this story, or do you want to do it?
No, it's... Milady, you have my utmost respect. Whatever it is that you would like to speak of, I will follow you.
Alright, so... Arth kind of died. And I uploaded a memory into the body you now see. Some of my best work, honestly.
I am only here because of Milady.
Is that why people want to be around you? Think you're kind of cursed?
A little bit.
I just thought we were really lucky to have such a veteran pilot in our command crew.
little column A, little column B, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. So,
but yeah, the only reason Arth is as good as she is right now is because I borrowed some updates after studying Zima here.
okay.
That is
That doesn't explain why the Guy system isn't dangerous?
Zima has a different designer. The lady who flashed in your mind, who doesn't really have, humanity's best interest at heart. No offense, sweetie. You are a gem. She is a terrible parent.
He is the reason I exist.
Did she create you?
Me and Arth are very similar in the sense I also died, and I should not have been that, but what was left of me and many others was able to make up me. So I am thankful for Dr. Asano.
Does that mean I'm next to die? To get shoved into a mech?
Well, I do have a plan for you just in case, because, honey, you do seem to blow things up, but I'm not planning on killing you.
Okay, good. I don't plan to blow myself up.
Yeah, no, I have a plan B just in case if you do want to come back. I do need to update your brain scan, though. Speaking of.
A brain scan?
Yeah, you... When I gave the crew those mandatory medical scans, not so much mandatory. It's just like, want to make sure my crew stays alive, and there's a baby.
Yeah, Milady does her best to keep us all alive.
I am a doctor.
For a given value of the word.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't complete medical school, but I'm still a doctor.
Good enough for me.
Speaking of a doctor, Foxy, I have a question. Is it possible for Zima to talk with Dr. Asano in their head right now?
I love you. You know that? So, a couple of things start happening as soon as you have that thought. Zima, you close your eyes for a moment. Feel all the outward sounds slowly drift away. The voices of your comrades distance themselves from your mind. The distant ambient sounds of the hangar disappear. There is complete quiet. And then you hear one lancing person's thoughts straight through your mind. Hello, child. I'm very proud of you right now. While that's happening, the rest of you sort of see Zima's eyes kind of close, and while none of you exactly know what's happening, that pinprick feeling in the back of your spines, in your Geist systems, each of you gets a small bit of a chill feeling there, just for a half second. And it's then almost as if your brains sort of forcibly distract yourselves from that, whatever that was. At least one of you has the ambient thought, where's the sun? And it's with that lingering thought, we'll take ourselves to a break. Thank you all for staying around for the first half of this incredibly indulgent episode, and thanks to some absolutely fucking A-class role players for bringing their fucking best to be perfectly honest. We'll be right back to put the dial on that browser. You all stay right there, and we will see you all back in, I don't know, 5, 10, we'll see. In any case, goodbye, love. We find ourselves next in the quiet part of the morning. The squad has been issued their morning routines, some sent off to maintenance, others duty bound for patrol duty or cleaning or simple hallway monitoring. Whatever the case, everyone has their place in the machine of war. Or these soldiers find themselves busied. Everyone has to make time for a meal. Thus, in this hazy early morning, as the clouds of last night's rain still slowly part to reveal a dewdrop sun pouring out rays of light yellow and white through the windows of the land carrier, we find ourselves in the mess hall. Long rows and benches sitting against tables of solid burnt steel, a sort of off iron color that shows wrought metal that's been used but clearly still maintained decently well. There are rows and rows of trays being held off at a window at one side, which can be taken by any soldier that walks by. Various protein bars and other sort of slurries, slushes, and cakes of various kinds that all pack the required nutrients to keep a soldier fed, but never really taste all that great, are displayed on these plates, and everyone kind of seems to gather what they can. You wager that it's always easy to tell when there's something at least half edible available for a meal, because whatever row that those trays are on are always gone the first. Always. Luckily enough, we find ourselves slowly encroaching on that row of trays, and up at the top there's a nutrient cake that is packed with a kind of protein that's given this sort of savory, almost salt-like thing that if you eat it right and close your eyes enough, just maybe tastes like it could have been meat a while ago. Maybe. And everyone's so hype over these that there are so few left, we can just see 2 of them. And as a single hand reaches out to grab and lift the tray, I have to ask, which of the 2 of you who we are next going to follow we think would arrive first of the pairing?
I think probably Facade, if just a sort of socially aware, quote unquote, Roxanne just sort of slinking her way through the crowds to get there.
Easily. Yeah, absolutely. We'll say with no problem, you sort of, the camera parts backwards to follow Roxanne's hand up her arm and behind her trademark jacket as soldiers sort of almost not so much give you space, but in the way you nudge through and pass, everyone kind of just oh dear, in that way when someone's clearly very insistent with their time and you just are I'm not gonna bother with this person. And so you push through and are able to grab yourself a tray and sort of look at it, and the protein cake is there. It's warm. It's just freshly come out of the fabricator, so it's nice and warm and decently. There's some other slurries of a vaguely green one and a vaguely yellow one you think might be some other kinds of nutrient slushes of some kind. They might taste okay, maybe, if you're lucky, if you don't think about them too hard. I guess primarily I want to ask you, Facade, where are you at right now? The last few nights have been problematic, if that's an easy word to use for the squad. Difficult might be a more fitting one. But for you specifically, it's been a period of development, I would say. So I think I just want to take this moment to sort of just, before anybody else does, ask more personally, where's your head at right now?
I think Facade is just going through her head possible reasons for people's behavior and things that, especially like the conversation with Witch now that since she's back in the mess hall, just it's not about, couldn't possibly be about personal things that Roxanne has done in the past, so who else in the squadron is being watched and why and who, by whom, and who else could be in on that?
I think it's sort of as you're considering this, forgive me if I take a moment to think about this. I think it's as you're sitting here in this space and you're thinking about, you know, just kind of the cryptic words Witch gave you, and specifically maybe it's that last sentence you settle on as you're thinking, because, like, of course there are things you've done that anyone who knew would have any reason to maybe hunt you for. Maybe. But it couldn't be that. No one knows about that. And so you think, what could possibly this random other soldier seem to have on me that would make her give me that warning? And it's as you're thinking about a pair of silver eyes and a signature ponytail that you remember those last words she said. Be careful they don't have me slip my leash on you. He won't be able to keep you safe. And you think, what if the problem isn't something to do with me? It's something to do with him. What could that possibly mean? Just, you find that sort of trickling through your brain. And I think you're almost maybe brought out of that revelry by the shifting of the tray next to you as another, incredibly familiar at this point, pair of hands reaches over and grabs the next only remaining tray with the protein shake. It's specifically not necessarily the earlier member of the 33rd Lance who you had some quarrels with, but one of his lance mates. He's reaching for that tray, and as you're reaching, you can see just over his shoulder that Mika's right behind him.
Oh my god, thank you for grabbing that for Mika. That's so thoughtful of you.
Roll me a single d10 real quick. Just no stat, real quick.
What's a d10 look like? I don't know. I was staring at like six
this.
of them for like...
It's one of these.
2.
Tiny spaceship.
5.
Oh, you won. Yeah, you with your other hand, literally just like, as he grabs it with both, you just bring your one hand between his two and just, oh, thank you so much. And he just, what? Mika, you see this happen, and him just like literally watch as like the tray goes up over his head in Roxanne's hand. He's like, what the? And turns and just sees you, and...
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
What?
Thank
Seriously?
you.
I got here first.
And?
I'm not putting this fight up. And he just kind of turns and walks away.
What was the... Oh god, what the fuck? What the hell was that other person's name in his lance? Ratchet? It's not Ratchet. Is
It wasn't Ratchet. Because Ratchet was the one who died.
Ha.
Hold up. I can, give me a second. I got you.
Ratchet was also a mechanic.
That's true.
Yeah.
You are looking
It's the guy who
at...
broke his leg, right?
Hmm?
We're talking about the guy in the lance who got injured, and then, yeah. A nice little heart-to-heart.
36. Striker is the person you have beef with. The person you're looking at is his partner, Drift.
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 I see.
No, don't worry. The curator's not here. No one's dripping yet.
Cool. What the fuck? I thought you meant like I meant drip like outfit. I meant drip like outfit.
I'm keeping that in the edit. Oh, I've got to keep that.
Anyways, tell Striker I say hi.
Drift just kind of freezes, looks back. Whatever. And then turns to walk off. You can see he does turn on his paracom though.
You could join us for breakfast.
He stops and is like, "Sure your friend's cool with that? She might ice me a bit." You would know icing is a sort of like slang term used in places around these parts. It's actually, funnily enough, specifically Southerner slang, and which you would know specifically, Roxanne. It means like someone will treat you like they don't like you very much.
I would never. I'm simply one of the warmest people you ever meet.
Yeah, you know what? Today's been painful enough. And he goes and grabs a tray and just like, "Where are we sitting, comrades?"
Fun. Is there a window?
Yeah, there's a chair not nearby the window. Actually, there are two. There are two sort of window benches nearby window bays. There's one on the right, which you can see has like one person sitting there, but they're kind of sitting by themselves, like they're waiting for people, or like they might be, like waiting for other like Lance mates to show up. The one on the left is empty. You both aren't surprised by that though, because it's always empty, because there's a rumor going around that it's cursed. If you sit there, you die on your next mission.
I can sit over by the window.
Are you pointing at the left one or the right one?
The left
That's
one?
the first one.
That's the dark one?
Yeah, that's the cursed one. Yep. Well, cursed.
No, I'm pointing at. I would like to make it so Mika and Facade are not sitting in the cursed one.
As you point at it and look, he looks over, looks back at you, and it's just like,
Something wrong?
no. It's, I don't buy into superstitions anyway. It's no big deal. Whatever. Yeah, sure. We can sit over there. It's cool.
Superstitions.
Superstitions.
Oh, y'all haven't heard? Yeah, they say if you sit in this seat right here, next time you go out on sortie, you don't come back.
Oh. What a silly rumor, really. Lots of people sat in this seat, surely.
Yeah, actually, it's got a legacy to it. I don't really know all the details, but they say like pretty important Lance who had a lot of really good confirmed kills used to sit here. Great mission record, always came back alive. Incredibly potent commanding officer, but one day they went out and none of them came back. Well, except one. And he rubs the cursed seat, and you can see that scrawled into the sort of back of it is a little symbol, like a spear. To help Darby out, Arth, what's your call sign?
T-Land.
Which means...
Oh, shit!
Keeping that in the edit too, by the way.
It's a... Just letting you know, it's a, mythical creature with a... It's like basically the Asian version of a unicorn.
Oh, yeah, with the hoofs.
Yeah.
And the
And the
slinky
very...
linky.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see. It's an interesting story. Well, what are we standing around for? You should take a seat.
He just kind of rubs the symbol again. Yep. And plops himself. Kind of puts his plate down and starts to eat. Have you ever been out with a friend or like with somebody you know, and they run into somebody who they've known from a long time ago, and they start kind of going at it, talking about old times or like some interest of theirs, you're kind of sitting there just like... He has that face on. Like, he's prepared to kind of just sit here while the two of you just, like, catch up as squad mates, and he's kind of just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, and just, like, kind of sits and, like, quietly begins to, like, fork at his nutrient paste and wait for the two of you to bicker and banter.
You know what I miss? Eggs. Eggs and an apple.
Can't say I've ever had eggs before.
Had it once.
Was it excellent?
No, they were hard-boiled.
Oh.
How have neither of you died yet?
How have you?
Turns out someone wanted me to make it back more than they wanted to make it back themselves. So I got lucky once. Well, lucky's the wrong word. There was... And you could see him kind of like immediately sort of hazing over as he kind of loses himself in a bit of a train of thought. Indicating like, clearly you guys can stop him at any time if you want to, just going on and on, but just let's go just talk for a bit. Just like, there was...
That was good data.
There was an old mission, and we were deployed in too deep, and caught in the valley. There were slapes on both sides, and a lance was supposed to be covering our uppers with sniper support. I don't know what happened, but the cover fire around me just stopped. It's like somebody wanted me dead or something. Next thing I know, my brother hops in my lane of fire, pushes me out of the way, slapes blow him out of the wind. He's a good soldier, decorated, a lot of good merits. Could have gone home soon, maybe.
Hey, what was that brother's name, by the way?
He hasn't given it.
I had a brother. I've been trying to find him.
He deployed somewhere else?
I don't know.
He kind of just cocks an eyebrow like he doesn't understand what that means. Oh, I think we lost you for a second there, bud.
Me?
Yeah, try again.
He joined up like 5 years before I did. And I've been trying to find him ever since.
You could see him kind of like lift his face a bit. You wouldn't happen to know what unit he was deployed in, or at least what front he was on?
No idea.
Yeah, well... And he kind of says, ideally he wasn't set on the northern push. You know, North Front's where we were invading Metri territory, pushing into the homeland. Well, seeing if we could maybe make a good push to end the war. Spear tip assault. I don't know if you heard the reports about how that siege went, but it's ground to a halt. Haven't gotten supplies in months. Casualty numbers are not pretty. But he's not deployed there. I'm sure he's somewhere else. I wouldn't worry about it. He's probably down south in the island campaign, doing nothing but waiting on a boat all day. I'm sure you'll run into him. Yeah.
That's my plan.
And he just kind of puts a hand up on your shoulder, like, yeah, totally. No sweat. Not a big deal. He'll find him, I'm sure.
What was your brother's name?
For context, are you asking him or...
Mika.
Give me one, I gotta remember this.
We as players remember our characters' backstories perfectly.
Yep, absolutely perfectly.
Don't worry.
Because I definitely wrote one.
100%. You totally wrote and delivered to me a backstory that I fully grasp, understand, and know the entire summary of.
Mm-hmm. I definitely did not just talk to you about my backstory over a call verbally and forget to write everything down.
Literally how I develop all my characters all the time. Always. That's okay. Any case, yeah.
So out of character, the most annoying thing is it's Mika's character's original character name when it was for a Lancer campaign.
That's so
and
funny.
I'm like, I cannot remember his name.
Oh no.
Is his name.
Well,
all right, okay. That was pretty good. I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
Oh man. No, legit, take your time with it. There's no rush. We can always just chop out with that. It's not a big deal. This music, surprisingly easy to take in cuts without it seeming weird. Don't worry, we're all good. We could say some secret shit that the audience is never gonna see here.
Secret tunnel.
Hey, audience, I actually have a really fat crush on somebody right now, but none of y'all get to know that.
Secret tunnel.
Hey, Editing Foxy, if you're reading this right now, you're great, and I hope that you're taking care of yourself and drinking water. Okay? I love you, bud. Mwah. Everyone say hi to Editing Foxy.
Is key.
Hi, Editing Foxy.
Thanks, Darby.
Hi.
Was his name John Lancerman?
No, but I think I found one that works.
If it works, then let's do it.
All right.
I hope you didn't tell me this name at some point, because I also sure as fuck don't remember it.
Nope, I did not.
Okay, cool. I'm a bad GM. Go ahead.
So, my brother's name? Hibiki. Tresfield. Same as my last name, but...
Sorry, what about it? Hibiki?
Yep.
Hibiki?
Yep.
Tight. Good to know. Any idea what his call sign could be? If you had to pick one.
Well, I mean, his name means echo.
Noted. Well, I'm sure
But I don't
he
think
is...
he was a pilot.
Engineer?
I don't know. Maybe intelligence?
Intelligence? What? Well, I'm sure that he's fine then. The intelligence doesn't get deployed, do they?
As far as you know, well, the intelligence would be split into several factors. There's the MI division overall, like MI officers, absolutely don't. However, most, if not every MI officer you've ever seen, probably Arte, with maybe a few rare exceptions. Separate from that, there are recon and Pathfinder teams who go out and do intel gathering, espionage, and things like that. They do get deployed in the field, not on necessarily in battle. They do go and see action and can face casualties. I mean, you're right to think that, like, if he is working in intelligence somewhere, he's probably more safe than on the battlefield. Doesn't mean he's safe.
It's an interesting path to take.
wasn't his choice.
Recruited or something else?
As far as I know, recruited? But I've never gotten a letter home from him since he left, so...
I'm sure he is somewhere safe.
I mean, I haven't seen his name on any, of the casualty lists yet, so...
Easy peasy.
Clearly, he's, fine, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely fine.
Drift, who has been kind of just quietly looking back and forth between the two of you this whole time, just says, "This feels like it's gotten personal. I'm gonna shower, maybe?"
This time?
Yeah, I got field duty today. Trench digging. Fucking sucks, but someone's gotta do it.
Alright, well, you better go in the next 5 minutes, otherwise it's going to be extremely crowded.
Yeah, you got me there. He stops and just, howdy? Never mind not asking. And just gets up. "Don't die out there, you two," he says, walking out.
That's the plan!
I didn't sit in the chair, so...
He freezes. And then just, you could see him visibly just have to take a breath and calm himself, and then keep walking.
Bye!
He mutters something under his breath, but it might take a roll for you to figure that out.
I would love to fucking roll. Excuse you.
Alright, give me...
What am I rolling?
I'm gonna say this is probably...
Awareness?
Awareness works just fine.
Okay, cool.
Tell me whatever you got.
I have no idea. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. 20.
Oh, with the 20. When he sort of mutters something under his breath that at first you don't catch, you don't really get it until, he's already kind of walking away a bit. But it sounded vaguely like... I'm not going to define what the word is. You can figure it out. I think you can define what the word specifically is. Mm-hmm. It's a word used in a southerner dialect that is close to yours. So it's definitely not a language you speak, but it's a dialect that's close enough that you would recognize he's from a town nearby yours probably. It's also a very direct derogatory insult about someone's mother usually.
Good thing she's already dead. She can't be insulted. Have fun in the shower, buddy.
And he just... literally, he still has the tray with him as he's walking. He's been, trying to pick off and eat. You just see him stumble a bit and drop the tray. Just, fucking... and just walk. And thus, it is now just the two of you. Sitting here, next to a cursed bench.
Did you know about the... Wait, you didn't know about this? How come we're always the last to know?
The chair? No, I definitely knew about it.
Oh, why am I always the last to know?
I think it's a... Think of it as a charming quality. Sometimes it's nicer to not know certain things. Blissful ignorance?
I don't know if it's actually blissful, but I'll take it.
It's nice at least. At least you don't feel any trepidation on sitting in a chair because it's in a corner.
I mean...
Because Arth sat in it once.
Arth's our squad mate.
Yeah. But Arth is not other people's squad mates, apparently.
Well, that's just rude.
It really is.
And we're all out here fighting for the same thing, supposedly, so...
Yes.
Try to get along, I guess.
Yes, everyone is definitely fighting for the same thing.
Not exactly the same thing, but... It doesn't do us any good to fight amongst each other, does it?
It's debatable, I suppose. Depends on what you have to gain. If we do fight.
Breakfast?
Maybe. Or perhaps something a little more permanent. But what do I know? I'm just here to kill Sleipnir agents and go home.
The dream, going home.
Hmm. Where's home for you?
Boxy, help.
Well, here's the fun thing, love. It's up to you, darling.
That's code for you didn't tell me.
I mean,
I
true.
did.
I mean, it's supposed. Oh, you know what? You did. We did discuss this.
Wow. Wow.
Let's see. I do recall we did figure out whether or not you were whether you were Eastern, Western, or Southerner. And I think the call was Westerner for you. Yes.
I think so.
Okay, that sounds right. In which case, oh fuck! Don't make me pull the map up. God damn it! Fuck! I wasn't prepared for this.
I wasn't either.
Fuck! Hold up, I can do this. Load. Machine. Fuck.
Activate.
Clear. Scanner. Virtualization.
Do the thing.
Only real kids know Code Lyoko. Only real ones are down with the Code Lyoko. Okay, got it. Here we go. You are from
That place where people do the thing.
Shut.
Shut what? Mm?
Just shut it. You stop that.
Nah.
Fucking. Oh, wait. No, I remember this. There's a city that you were from. Was it Valo? Is that you were from? Vall?
Yes.
Cool. We're gonna go with that because that sounds good. Okay. So for context, Valo is a port town due north of here. Population of about 49,000. It's got a pretty big dockyard and things. That's probably what it's known for. Well done. Let's take that from where's home for you. We'll take that from there, and then we'll just. Okay, go do that.
Take a medicine.
Yes, take your medicine. That sounds important. Don't die. We need you alive and healthy and such.
Babies. This is what this pill is for.
Fuck, did I take my
What is
medicine?
the name of the city again?
Fuck, I just had it. Fucking, Valo. V-A-L-L-O.
Got it.
Valo.
In the territory of Galicia. Listen, it's a randomly made map, fam. I didn't name all the fucking things, okay? Wish she had her headset on so I could just scream penis really loud and see if I can get her to choke on the water or something. That'd be really funny.
What?
Huh?
What?
What?
What did you say?
Nothing. Anyway, back to the recording.
What did Foxy say?
Go ahead, rat on me. I dare one of you. That's what I thought. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Sorry, that's really fucking funny. Okay, fuck. Okay. I should have stopped recording so I didn't have to cut that out, but now I gotta. Anyway, okay, let's take that back from where's home for you. We'll come back in there and then we'll go from there. Okay, cool? Go for it.
So, where is home for you?
Follow. In the port city. North.
Anybody back home waiting for you? I know you have a brother out here somewhere.
Oh, she's not exactly back home. But yes.
Not a family member.
I mean, my parents are in Velo, but that's not who I'm talking about.
And if she's not at home, then where would she be? Not out here, too, I hope.
Nope. Stuck in a lab.
So an intelligence officer brother, a scientist paramour, and then there's you, the soldier.
Yep. It's me stuck in the middle of it.
And what does this... And what does she study?
So you know how we all run our mechs off Geist systems? Has a bit to do with that.
Interesting. Really, really interesting.
It's all beyond me.
Sure, if you say so. Well, turns out I'm probably the most boring person in this squadron, then.
I wouldn't call you boring. Mysterious, yes. But I wouldn't call you boring.
Certainly less of note than the other members of our squad. Especially our commander.
Speaking of, what exactly is going on between you two?
Nothing unusual. Just making him feel welcome is all. Don't want another replacement so soon.
True, I like this commander. The last one was kind of a dick, though.
Yes, they sucked quite a bit. Truly tragic happenstance that happened to them. Such a shame. Who could have known?
Definitely not me. So, people do say that explosions tend to be my fault. I don't know why.
Yes, really unfair label. I feel that Doc probably causes a couple more explosions.
I guess I'll have to work on that.
Is that a title you do want?
She makes more things blow up than me. See that as a fucking challenge.
My lady's honor has been impugned upon.
Fuck!
Well, you gotta admit the explosions are fun. When you make them out of it, of course.
Yes, when you're not in the crossfire, they're very entertaining. To watch happen to Sleipnir agents, of course.
Oh, yeah.
No one else.
Well, I got to talk to Doc about getting the explosive fists.
Yes, You said your person of interest is working on the Geist system.
Yeah?
Do you think they had any part in Witch's setup?
No, I don't think so. She was actually trying to warn me.
Before you left?
No. I got a message from her. Well, when everyone after the funeral, and I was able to get a message from her, and she's telling me that the ice system's really dangerous, and doesn't really want me involved in being a pilot, but now it's all I know how to do.
I'm sure you know more than just how to be a pilot. Do you have a way of contacting her regularly?
Not for another few more days. The battery needs a charge. It only lasts about 4 minutes.
Interesting. Well, hopefully we can find your brother, give you enough accolades so you can go home, back to your... What was her name again?
Lily.
Back to Lily.
Promised her I'd find my way back somehow, and hoping that'll be it.
Like, what's up? We'll just nod and then cut into the
Protein cake.
patty?
It's like a
protein
patty.
cake.
It's like a patty, basically.
Yeah, okay, yeah. cut
You
into
know
the
for a
patty.
fact it's not made of meat. It looks like it's made of meat.
That's their intention. Whose intention?
Them. In either case, you all sit and eat for a bit, excuse me, quietly, when eventually the sort of first warning bell of the day goes off to let you all know you have about 5 minutes before you have to tend to your morning duties. Mika, you know you've drawn hangar duty today, so you'll be heading down that way anyway to do some regular moving of crates and things around the hangar. Roxanne, you are actually on cleaning duty for some of the hallway areas around some of the quarters. So you're going to be handling that. So you both have to head separate ways and need to get there pretty soon. So it's probably a good time to pack up your meals and get moving, obviously, at that point. But you appreciate, I imagine, both of you, the space to sit and chat with a comrade amidst the calamity and horror you find yourselves regularly surrounded with. It's sort of a momentary peace that you enjoy, just even in the spare moments you have to give to each other. And I think it's as you two sort of almost quietly rise and recognize time to get back to it, and you part, beginning to set off about your days. Before we head right to the next thing, I want a very quick interruption as we pause to a sort of a bit of a separate scene. It is the field of battle. Fires, explosions, radio chatter, and the screams of the valiant and the dying erupt all over and around this place. You can see the streaks of autocannon fire from MAF units, followed by the repeated laser cannon fire from Sleipnir units firing back at them. We pan across this sweeping battlescape to see a single 5-person lance in position. 4 of them have their their shields up high, their rifles tucked in on them in perfect normal drills, moving in a correct position. At their middle, there is a 5th who has a high shield and a combat blade that appears to have been, broken in half and had a second combat blade welded together with it in the middle to form a sort of mock sword of some kind. The 5 of these mechs are cutting their way through Sleipnir units left and right. It has been brutal. System alarms are flaring and firing all up and over, and they know for a fact they need to stop for rearm and maintenance, or they are going to be overrun soon. And as we cut into the middle cockpit of that one mech with the elongated combat blade, we see a face rather familiar to us, though maybe it looks a bit more alive. Comms cut in. Spear 1. Position. Register in. Are you still alive out there?
Still alive.
Is your lance functional?
As much as we can. We're pinned down here. We need as much support as we can get, or at least some sort of refuel.
No units are available for supply, for exfil, or for assistance right now. You are on your own. More importantly than your concerns, there is an elite unit moving far faster than any others, headed your way. It will hit a convoy soon. The Lord Regent himself is in that convoy. That unit must not reach it. Are my orders clear, Spear 1?
Crystal.
To the last man, and comms cut out.
Gale, Estelle, I need you to switch formation, please. Bast, Miguel. Up on that ridge.
We're with you, Commander. Let's get out of here, alright?
Don't take any unnecessary risks. We're all getting out of here alive.
Miguel dropping a clip from their rifle and pulling it back in to sock it in and giving that hard clunk as it reloads. Just like old times, eh, Commander?
You know, outnumbered, outstaffed.
And in for one hell of a fight.
Don't get too cocky.
How could we not? We got the Maiden of Liberty on our side. And with that, the scene slowly cuts and then comes right back in. We see that same battlefield position, the ridge where Bass and Miguel were told to maintain. 2 MAF units are ruined. Searing cuts opened up in their cockpits. No trace of the pilots left alive in there. We follow down, where 2 more sit back to back, literally defending each other. The combat blade ripped from one of their shoulders and stabbed through both of them. And we follow, lastly, the 1 more Sleipnir unit. Its leg units literally torn from it. Its boosters malfunctioning and firing. Its shield arm already gone. And in its hand holding a broken and a re-broken now combat blade. The pilot inside, bloodied and damaged from internal things as readings, warnings, and radar alerts fire off everywhere. Huffs in pain and exhaustion as everything goes bleary, but they are still conscious, and for some ungodly reason, still fighting. In front of them is a large Sleipnir mech, customized and shaped like an Arturian knight of legend. Sloped armored pauldrons, a cape billowing behind it, a shield high in its hand, and a blade of gleaming energy in its other. Comms cut in again. Bold, but stupid. What made you think you could hold me here?
Not about holding you here. And that arm that that fell off, Arth will pick it up and throw it like a gauntlet of challenge.
Oh, that is precious. Come then. Rise, knight. Duel me.
To the death.
And slowly, on rickety gears and broken servos, the MAF Type 22 Arth is currently piloting slowly creaks to its feet, its leg servos still giving out and breaking down as it tries to get up, but managing to barely come on to almost sort of like kneeling position and swiping that combat blade open. The commander points the sword forward, its head unit tilts in almost a mocking gesture. Come then. And as the 2 charge, slowly closing in, the scene fades. We find ourselves back in the hallway. Not long after the slow conversation between 2 squad mates in the mess hall. Roxanne is steadily making her way towards the maintenance corridors to gather the cleaning supplies needed for the day. There is a bit of a commotion in the halls, though. More than the standard sort of shuffling you see for soldiers going about their day. And it's not too hard to tell that it seems to all be coming around a group moving down the hallway opposite direction of you, as someone is clearly approaching with several people all around them. The trouble is there is so much material, supply, and gear and things being carried, you can't really tell who that person is at all. Until in front of you, someone trips on something and falls over. Just drops a bunch of boxes and crates and things everywhere.
Can I catch them by the collar?
Absolutely. Not even a roll. You just
like flick them up.
He gets up. You're 34th facade, yeah?
Yes, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
I'm just help staff. I'm not actually from any of the Lances. Your Lance gets talked sometimes, so I recognize you're sorry. It's been and before he can finish that one, a voice cuts him off. Inconsiderate, incompetent, illogical, and useless. I have no more need for you. Why are you still standing here? And he just straightens up. Yes, ma'am, of course, I'm so sorry. Bows twice rapidly and just starts skittering off. You hear that same voice cut in. You there, pilot. Your hands work, yes?
Hopefully.
The woman in front of you is tall, bedecked in not a military officer's coat or an intelligence officer's jacket, but a long, flowing gown of ruby red. Her hair is up and elaborate with a high tiara that kind of decorates it and keeps it held up in several elaborate curls about the back of her head. And
Oops,
she
I know what this.
has several necklaces around her neck as well as rings on her hand. Pick those up. Come with me.
Yep, grabbing them, not saying anything, picks them up and follows.
She doesn't really say anything or even acknowledge you, honestly. She kind of is already walking in by the time you're able to gather the three. They're not heavy boxes, but they seem like they're meant to carry perhaps personal materials, maybe supplies, documents maybe. You really couldn't tell too much.
Any of them open?
Yes. One of them is cracked a little bit open.
I would love to try and sneak, as she's like turning and walking away, because clearly I'm not important. She just wants me to pick up and carry her shit. I'd love to just pocket something.
Roll me a single D10.
10.
You are so fucking... Wow, you are killing it today. You pull out a piece of paper. There's a piece of paper sticking out of the one case that is open. You grab it. It is a 4th page in a document. The top part says page 4 of 12. So it's clearly a larger document. But while the first part of it appears to be just like a sort of a finishing part of a previous paragraph where it says, kind of just other sentences, but the first part you can kind of like pick up on to begin to read says a couple of things. And actually, we're going to come right back to what it says, but you're able to grab it and pocket it, and you can maybe look at it again in just a moment. You gotta keep up with the woman. So you're walking along to keep up with her, and she doesn't seem to bother much. Just looks around, takes in the looks, and just... These walls have been cleaned in some time, and the soldiers don't appear very high morale. I suppose it's standard for military.
Oh god, I don't know what to say. She said...
I will say, it doesn't appear she's talking to you outright.
Yeah, she's more talking to herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Fasad's just taking as many mental notes about this person as she can. This is not someone in the military.
Not at all. You can tell that immediately. So I'll say, looking at her first glance, you can tell a couple of things. One, she's not military. Absolutely. Nothing about the way she walks indicates that. Two, she is absolutely, definitely someone of importance. The way all these people are carrying her things and giving her space, she matters to whoever is walking around. In fact, you are a soldier, so you would know this is definitely someone of like high status, probably from the noble family or someone higher up than that, around that area. Third, the thing you probably notice the most above anything else is that, well, she's walking definitely like she shouldn't be here. Like, this is a woman of importance in status and class. Why is she on a military vessel without this being like a parade or some ceremonial festival of some kind? It just seems like it maybe... And then you realize it. This wasn't a prompted visit. The reason everyone's scattering is because no one here was prepared for her to show up.
Interesting. And where do you need these to be brought to, ma'am?
She looks over. She says, I don't believe I've been given my own quarters or allowed any such thing, so I believe I'll just avail myself of... Let's say I'll be keeping a private quarter in this place, and just right this way. And she points in a way that you clearly can tell is indicative of, well, the higher-up officer suites.
Understood, ma'am.
The two of you walk quietly for a bit. She continues to kind of comment on random things. Someone walks by and she comments on their uniform not looking very well. Someone walks by with a plate of food and she comments on how the food doesn't look like anything near edible around here. Not in a way that seems like she's concerned or cares, but just observationally. And then she just sort of almost... You, pilot, you're deployed on this vessel, yes?
That's correct, ma'am.
Oh. And if you're a pilot, I wouldn't suppose you happen to be acquainted with the commanders here. You likely wouldn't know them by any of their names, just their call signs, but you know a few of them, I assume.
I'd say I know a couple, yes.
And your newest arrival.
Of the 34th Lance, yes.
Indeed. You know of him?
Facade. 34th Lance. Does a small bow.
And she gives a quick smile, and as she kind of stops at a door, gives you a quick up and down and just, my. So then, tell me, what would be your opinion of your new erstwhile commander, Facade?
Okay. Well, our commanding officer seems fresh out of school, but well acquainted with military tactics and strategies.
He's certainly a competent commander. There's a certain fire about him, I've noticed. When he thinks he understands something, when he thinks he knows it, he's all guns ahead, like nothing can tell him otherwise.
It sounds as though you would know him better than I would, ma'am.
I do, darling. It is, after all, quite important that one knows the man they're going to marry.
Would you then like to avail yourself of his quarters, then?
I was already headed that way.
Most excellent, man.
And so she kind of quietly, like, again, big smile at you, eyes closed smile, looks forward, the door opens, they keep moving. As you're moving now through the officers' quarters, she just stops at a door, which, again, you would know at this point is his door, and says, I'm sure I can have him carry things from here. You've been a wonderful help, Facade. Thank you so very much for your company. Dismissed.
Of course, ma'am. If you need anything else, whatever our commander's wishes, I'm sure, extend to you as well.
Actually, there is one last question you could indulge on a woman's curiosity. Does he... She thinks for a second and just says, do you think any of you have seen it yet? That dreamy look in his eyes. Like there's something greater than all this he wants.
Has Facade ever seen that look?
You have. Specifically the time you guys talked in his quarters when he mentioned wanting a family.
I couldn't say, ma'am. We don't spend much time with our commanding officers outside of, what the fuck do you call practice? Like...
Drills, training, whatever.
Drills, yeah. Outside of training and combat.
She quirks an eyebrow again. Well, one day, all of you will see it. When his face is the leading symbol of this nation of ours. When those starry eyes become a beacon of a future he has no idea is coming. Enjoy your day now, love. Goodbye.
Roxanne will place the things down, and then head away, but maybe hang around a corner if she knows it won't be super obvious.
You don't even have to do all that. You can hear something being whispered as you're walking away. Roll awareness one more time if you want to hear what's being said.
Yeah. God, it'd be so creepy if she had a camera in his fucking room.
Ooh, that's a good roll. You had to try hard to beat that one.
16.
No, you beat it, fuck.
What she whisper?
She turns to one of the. You notice that while several of the service staff were carrying things just look like, regular people, a couple of them look pretty beefy, got some muscle on them. She turns to one of them and just says, "Watch that one." And I think we'll go ahead and let this scene rock out right there, huh? The scene as it is finds us in two places. The squad itself has had itself shaken through new revelations and new news. The tides of war constantly shifting all around them, even before battle begins. And as the landcrawler patters on towards a battlefield they know they will face, we find two soldiers alone, facing the kind of conflicts we are never certain how to face. Arth and Mika, Kirin and Neon. We find the two of you in a rare moment of solace, the kind of thing soldiers cherish when they have it. Sort of uneasy peace. It's not quite quiet. Quiet makes you uneasy. Quiet happens before an ambush, before a great battle, before a charge, when you die. Quiet isn't what you need. This is the steady, low buzz of chatter and radio noise, ambient hangar radiation, and slow rumbling of treads that reminds you just enough that you're alive. You sit against a slight display mirror. It's carbon glass fogged over and hazy through battle damage and misrepair. But even through that, you can see the heavy pall of rain, as it seems to be almost following you these days. Where do we find you two in this moment? And how is it that you two are facing the things you have learned?
Arth stands facing the window just far enough that she can see Mika's face in the reflection. Hands crossed in a sort of parade rest at her back, just sort of stares out the window.
Contrast to Earth's very straight up posture and decorum. Mika is just slouched, half leaning on the window, and absolutely way more worried about comfort than how they're supposed to be presented. More rain.
It always seems to follow us these days.
Does.
Wish to speak.
Did you ever enjoy running through puddles as a kid?
I never really had the time. Arth, releases one hand and pats a hand on her palm of her hand on her blade. Always had some other things I'd like to do.
Jazz?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
What other things did you like to do, other than running through puddles?
Oh, it might have surprised you a bit. I enjoyed learning new languages, actually. It's what I went to university for, actually. old myths.
Never had a head for languages. Pretty well at science, though.
Respectable field.
Well, it's how you learn how to make explosions happen.
Well, if you have fun and enjoy it, then I'm sure anyone would be glad.
Hey, Len?
Yes?
Can I ask you about your military history? I know for a while you were a really decorated hero. Then what happened? Was it because of thing with Doc? That things changed?
They say... You know the saying about hindsight and...
2020?
Yes. Well... Arth takes a glance through the window, the reflection, just checks to see if anybody's around besides Mika. As usual, there's no anyone who would be close by is, well, they've taken a far enough stance away that they wouldn't be able to hear our conversation. No, I'm afraid... Well, it's thanks to Doc that I'm even here, but...
I'm glad you're here.
And I'm glad too. And yet through all of this... Well, we'll see if I can... Mika... Do you know what they call me nowadays?
Think about a ghost? Is that why people avoid you?
They call me the Maiden of Death. Because where everyone else dies, except Milady, I survive.
Oh, it's not because you're known to be just absolute. You're just. I've known you only through, I guess, the previous history, and you're really good at battling, and I thought the Maiden of Death was because you show up on scene in the mechs. The other means that kind of take out all the other units, and that would be a good thing for us. Is that wrong?
You're not wrong, but you're not right either. Called me a hero.
Aren't you?
There are no heroes in war.
I mean, I've been fighting long enough to know that one.
Back in the days, With my original squad, 5 of us, we always came back alive. We'd get back. It was under my command that everyone, not just the squad, but the engineers and the mechanists and even our commander would always come back alive.
Isn't that a good thing?
That's what I thought. That's what the whole damn team thought. And it's only now, after so many years, that I've realized that they just kept sending us on harder missions. They were just waiting for us to die.
How dare.
I never noticed. And that was my fault. My pride. And it's only now that I look back on all my regrets. Because they haven't changed the difficulty of our missions. And yet, our team still lives. Doc is still around. And I can only hope that they don't push us over that line.
Wonder if that's part of what Lily was trying to tell me.
She
Hold the line
was.
with you.
I can only admire your partner's courage.
That's what she says to me, that she admires mine. Going out there, being on the front line. I didn't think of how much every news cycle she has to wait. I hope my name isn't coming up. I promised. Vowed we'd find a way back to each other. I'm not gonna let her down. But also, I gotta be here for all of you. This is my squadron. You did your best keeping your squadron alive. I want to do the same for mine.
Our squadron, then, is it?
Our squadron.
From what I've read, you would have made a great knight. Way far back in the old days. Proud to have someone like you at my side.
I'm honored to fight alongside with you.
Arth turns towards you, Mika. Pulls the sword up in a salute. Then let me offer this. This blade has already been offered to Milady. But I can give you not my blade, but my word. So long as you draw breath, so long as those in our squad remain some facsimile of the word alive, I will fight to keep us and make sure that we all come back home, whatever home is.
not a knight. Never have been. Don't think I ever will be. You have my word as well. That I will fight to keep us alive. So that we can all find home. Wherever that is.
Whoever that is.
Whoever that is.
Then our oaths be sealed. And Arth sheathes her sword. Thank you, Mika.
Thank you, Arthlevis.
I haven't heard my full name in a long time.
You miss it?
It is... well, it's quite the mouthful. I suppose the answer is... perhaps yes. But I've grown fond of our little nicknames. Yes. Just a part of my name now, as yours is. As milady's. Zima's. As facades.
And with the 5 of you mentioned, the camera finds itself distinctly pausing on each of your faces. Then splitting so as to show 5 indistinct patterns of, well, all of your faces. And then slowly distorts a bit, as if discoloring those faces by camera filter, perhaps? As it looks as if the 5 of you, the 5 pilots of 35th Lance, or 34th Lance, excuse me, are being viewed on 5 individual view screens. Apropos, a rolling combat monitor showing footage of all of your recent battles. The feat of the 3 of you lifting that massive boulder and crushing that Sleipnir juggernaut. Arth's expert maneuvering with their thrusters and energy sword. Facade's perfectly placed shots. The coordination of your commander is even shown. This all plays across wide footage and screens as a figure sits. He is an off tawny tone in skin. A single scar runs from sort of the top of his head down across the lower parts of his jaw. A rough mustache, not quite well taken care of, but kempt enough to be at least of military standard, is stroked by a rugged hand covered in military scars. He bears a coat, clearly not demarking him as any kind of PRV military. Rather, his coat is decorated in the off teal and white of the Heptarchy of Metria. He lets go. He sips from a glass, which he then puts down in a saucer and places on a table. A pair of slender, soft hands grips that saucer and takes it away. Thank you, love. The famed battle maidens of Seraph Lance. Impressive. Yes, I think these 5 might just be the one. They're not there yet, though. A voice from behind him says, "You can see it, though, can't you? I can tell by the fire in your eye." "Yeah, they've all got it. Stench of death about them, clinging on to them, like war calls to them, like battle's the only home they can really know. Gets me excited, honestly." Soon enough. Where are they headed, by the way? Redsham, dear. There's a garrison we have I think they want to clear out. Are we deployed sometime soon? No, my love. We're off duty for a while. And how's my favorite toy? Still damaged. Go on a road trip. I'll be back in 3-4 days? Yes, I'm certain you will. Be careful with them, my love. Oh, I can't do that. How else are they going to learn what they can do? He steps up and walks out of the room. And with that, we bring this to a close.
The flame of war crackles and rages across a place destroyed by the past. Secrets come unwound as truths bind and constrict. Zima and Mika race towards truth and awakening. Facade winds her fingers further into entrenched power that may not want intrusion. Doc pushes herself to know more, but what dark things will she find in her search? Arth moves to realize her own truth hidden deep within trauma and memory. All this to the backdrop of a new silver-eyed commander with destiny and dynasty weighing heavy on his shoulders. What tangled fate will Seraph Lance make as they plunge into the fray of combat? What future awaits these fated soldiers on the battlefield?
Next time on Stardust Ghosts. Arc 1, The War Unraveled.
Face the flame that burns past into future, ghosts.